Hello, this is Lucas, and in this video I'm going to be going over transformations in JavaFX. So there's 4 different transformations that we're going to be going over. 4 of them are translation, rotation, scaling, and shearing, and in this video we will be going over all of them. Okay, so the example that we're going to be using is a rectangle. So we're just going to be adding these transitions or these transformations onto a rectangle. So let's start off by creating a rectangle. Okay, rectangle. Then we just give a name of R. Equal that to a new rectangle, and just pass in the size of the rectangle like this, so 250. Okay, now let's add this onto our main layout, which is a VBox named root. So we just do root.getChildren.add or. Okay, so at the moment it just looks like this. Just got a basic rectangle, right? Nothing too fancy about this. So let's play around with this firstly, right? So firstly, let's set the properties of the rectangle. This isn't anything to do with transformation, but just to make it look a bit better. So we can do our dot set stroke. Then we need to give it a color. So we'll do color dot, and then we'll give this as black. That's fine. Then we'll do R dot set fill. So we'll just change the color of this, and we'll do color dot, I don't know, let's do lime green. Okay. And then finally, let's do R dot set stroke, stroke width, whatever that is. There you go. And we'll just give a value of 2. And this is how it looks like at the moment. It's just a basic rectangle. Color is lime green. We have a black border with the width of 2. Okay, so once we have the rectangle done, let's get started with our first transformation, which is going to be translate. So let's get started with this. So let's do translate. Okay, translate. Then we'll just give it a value. I'll just do translate. Equal that to a new translate. Now we have to give a few values for translate. So let's do translate dot set x. Then we'll just give a value of 100. Then let's go to translate.set y, and we'll give a value of 100, and I spelled that wrong. There we go. So translate, you might guess what that means. It just translate it, not too much, right? But we do need these values, right? Next one we're going to be going over is rotate. So let's just do rotate. We'll give a value of rotate. Equal this to a new rotate. Okay, rotate. Then we want to rotate this. Let's say rotate dot set angle. We'll give it any angle. Let's say 30. So all this does is it just rotates our rectangle that we have created. So let's test these out, shall we? So firstly, let's test out the translate. So we need to add these transformations onto our rectangle. Okay, so the way we'll do that is we will call our rectangle, which is R. Then we do dot get transform, not set transform, get transform, because we have to get all the transformations and then we just add them. All right, we add them to the transformations that we get, and then we just have to add in the transformations. So first one is translate, and they added in the second one. Automatically we do add all. Okay, now let's just add the translate first. I say that's a better idea. Let's run this, and you can see that our rectangle has moved. So the way that translate works is it just moves the object. So you can see we move the 100x, so 100x, and then 100y, so 100 from the top, right? It's at this point. So this point is like the start. So it will move it from here. Alright, so it'll be 100 this way and 100 this way from this point. Okay, so that's translate. Let's add in rotate. Let's run this. Okay, so now you can see the difference. Okay, all this does is it rotates the the rectangle by 30 degrees. Okay, so you can see, and it's 30 degrees clockwise, right? So it's not anti-clockwise, as you can see. So it goes this. So this point will always stay at this point, right? And everything else will rotate, right? So this is like the anchor, right? So you can see this point was up here, and now this point is all the way down here. Same thing with the other 2 points. So all 3 of these points rotate. This one stays where it is. Okay, so that is rotate. Let's go out with that. Next one, let's do a scale. You might guess what scale means. We scale it, so we set the size of it. So we'll do scale. We'll create scale, equal that to a new scale, and then we'll give it a few values. So we'll do a scale dot set x. We'll give it a value of, let's say, 1.5. So this will just scale our object 150%, right? So, or we'll increase it by 50%. So then we'll do scale dot set y. And we will do this, let's say we leave this where it is. Alright. Scale, it'd be good if I spell scale correctly. Like that. Next one we can, actually first before we do that, let's just check the difference. So let's do scale. Let's add that in, let's run this. And you can see the size of it does get bigger. That's because we have set x, so x is this top line here. You can see we increased it by 50%, or 150%. Well, we increased it by 50%. Alright, so 1 is like 100%, so it'll just stay the same. It'll be 100% of its value, right? But then if we do 1.5, then that's 150% of its value. So you can see that x gets bigger, but then y is still 1.5 or 1.0, which is just 100%, so it will stay the exact same, right? So y will stay the exact same, but x will get bigger because we have set that, right? Next thing that we can do is we can change the pivot, right? So let's do a scale dot set pivot x. Let's give a value of 100. Then let's do a scale dot set pivot y. And we'll give this a value of 50. You can run this. You won't see too much difference to this. But basically, well, you actually can. So it just pivots the entire object. Bit left, you can see that before we only a little bit got cut off, but then when we set the pivot, a bit more got cut off. Here, same thing with the y. The y went up a bit, if you can tell. The object went up a little bit as well. So that's what pivot does. And then the very last one is shear. So if we do shear equal to a new shear, right? Then we can do shear dot set x. We can give a value of, say, 1.5. We need to add that in. So we'll do shear. Now we can run this, and you can see the entire difference. So it just shears it. Alright, you can see it looks absolutely messed up. We can change this to, let's say, 1.2. So now these are now this is the difference to it. So this is the one before, this is the one after. You can see that there is a bit of a difference there whenever we share it. So yeah, that's about it for all of the transformations in JavaFX. I hope this video helped. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.